What would you do if your life was on the line? If you were told to bow down to something you didn't believe in or face certain death? This isn't just a story of defiance. It's a story of faith that defied the flames. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego faced an impossible choice, and what happened next will leave you in awe. Stay tuned, because their story isn't just a lesson in courage. It's a miraculous tale that changed a kingdom forever. The sun was setting over the vast empire of Babylon as King Nebuchadnezzar, the mighty ruler, commanded his officials to bring forth a colossal golden idol. Standing 90 feet tall, the golden statue gleamed in the setting sun, symbolizing the king's supreme power. Nebuchadnezzar declared that whenever the sound of music played, everyone in the kingdom was to bow down and worship this idol. The penalty for disobedience? A fiery death in a furnace. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were among those present at the ceremony. These three young men had risen to positions of authority in the king's court, but their loyalty was first and foremost to God. They had been taken from their homeland and exiled to Babylon, but they had never compromised their faith. When the music played, the vast crowd fell to their knees to worship the golden idol, but the three men stood firm. They refused to bow, knowing that worshiping an idol was a direct violation of their commitment to the one true God. Wrath was swift when he heard of their disobedience. The king summoned them to appear before him, his anger boiling over. How could these three men defy him, a king who had the power to end their lives with a single command? The stage was set for a life-or-death confrontation, but the young men knew their decision could cost them their lives, and they stood firm in their conviction. King Nebuchadnezzar, enraged by their defiance, gave Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego one last chance to bow before the idol. His voice thundered with authority as he warned them, "If you refuse, you will be thrown into the fiery furnace. And who is the God that will save you from my power?" Without hesitation, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered him, "If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up." Their words rang with unshakable faith. They were not looking for deliverance in the way the king might have hoped. Their faith was steadfast regardless of the outcome. Furious at their unwavering response, Nebuchadnezzar ordered the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter than usual. The heat was so intense that the soldiers who threw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego into the furnace were killed by the flames. But when the king looked into the furnace, he was astonished to see not 3 men, but 4 figures walking unharmed in the fire. The 4th figure appeared like a son of the gods. The fire, meant to consume them, had no power over them. They were protected by a force greater than the king's wrath. Nebuchadnezzar's shock turned to awe as he called Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego out of the furnace. They emerged from the flames without a single burn mark on their bodies or even the smell of smoke on their clothes. The king's officials and the entire crowd stood in stunned silence. This was no ordinary miracle. This was divine intervention. The flames had not touched them. They had walked through fire and emerged unharmed. In that moment, Nebuchadnezzar knew that the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was no ordinary God. He was the one true God, able to perform the impossible. The king praised God, declaring, "Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and rescued his servants. No other God can save in this way." He issued a decree that anyone who spoke against the God of Israel would be punished. He even promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to higher positions in his kingdom, recognizing their unwavering faith. This moment was more than just a personal victory for the 3 men. It was a powerful testimony to everyone in Babylon about the power of faith and the sovereignty of God. The story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shows that no matter how strong the pressure to conform may be, standing firm in faith has the power to change not just lives, but entire kingdoms. And in the midst of our own trials, we too can take heart, knowing that God is with us, especially when we stand firm in faith, even in the fiery furnace. If you've been inspired by the faith of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Share this story with someone who may need encouragement to stand firm in their faith. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories of courage, faith, and miracles.